This is the Optiplex 9020, small form factor edition. The story of this computer is a fairly simple one. In 1993, Dell Technologies, or just Dell, released two series, Optiplex and Netplex. Both of them sold like shit their first generations, but the feedback received from users determined that the Optiplex, even though it was actually considered an office workstation, sold significantly better than the Netplex. So, right after the first generation, Dell said, hey, fuck this, and abandoned the Netplex line to be eaten by the DOS nerds of the future. Meanwhile, they started making more and more Optiplex computers, and they sell super fucking well, because they're cheap as fuck and work good in middle class houses that need family computers. And in their later years, they sell super fucking well to people who can't afford gaming PCs because they come with slots for upgradability. And in 2024, this baby was left on a fire station doorstep and brought right to me, being claimed as the sole parent of the child. Shit.
Hello? This is the child in question. Just move this slightly forward, slightly downward. I'm so good at camera work, guys. This is my personal Optiplex 9020 machine. It's a box, it has parts in it, and the power supply is so low that it literally cannot support tower cards, so it's actually running a GTX 9. It's a lot better if I get like a GoPro and just go through it that way.
So, this is the actual machine. Right here, we have my 256 gig boot SSD that is also my main storage. I do have a 4 terabyte that stores a bunch of my games that I don't need to load quickly, but I don't have it on me right now. 16 gigabytes of, I think, DDR3 RAM in there. Under this heatsink and fan that I can't screw off right now because I forgot my tools, is an i5 4570 CPU. It is something. It does exist. It runs pretty fast. It's about 3 gigahertz of speed. And then right here is my pride and joy that one of my buddies gave to me from his grandfather's old PC. No, that is not a joke. Is the GTX motherfucker. The GTX 745 that runs pretty much all my games. I don't run like super graphically intensive games. I really hate these meta pointers. And then, would you look at that? I fucked up. Fuck. We're just gonna ignore this being here now. Over here is I can't even read this power supply, but it physically cannot support tower card. You see those two tiny little pins you can barely see because the video quality is so low? Yeah, that's the hardware jumper. There should be a piece there, but there's not. It's just gone. So that's fun. Let's just get this closed up again. Then here in the front we have 4 USB ports, 2 of which struggle to work sometime. These 2 which straight up don't work. So I end up actually using the USB ports on the back of the computer. You also might have noticed that, let's back off, there is no network card. I actually don't get internet on this thing natively. So, because I'm running Windows 10 and things, hang on, let me get this thing off my head. Because this thing is running Windows 10, it's actually got support for drivers for a little USB dongle that I get Wi-Fi off of that is somewhere, but I don't feel like finding it right now. Overall, this PC is very average. Okay, it exists, but here's the real benchmark of it all. Okay, the real pants shitter, if you will, is the amount of shit that it's actually able to run.
We'll be right back with more technological sex here on Unfunny TV.
Turn on the magic of colored lights.
We're back on Politically Incorrect TV.
One of the things that I was initially surprised with this machine is how well it's able to be overclocked. If you don't know what overclocking is, let me put it this way. Imagine someone sells you a car and there's a wooden block in the engine for safety to prevent the car from reaching its maximum potential. Overclocking is removing that wooden block. It's not safe, but there's some wicked performance upgrades. And so this actually runs up to Unreal Engine 4. Unreal Engine 5 it struggles with because, ooh, fancy technology. You need an RTX card to run fucking anything. But it runs UE4, and one of the games that I own that's in UE4 is called Walking Simulator 2020. No, that is not a joke. That is an actual video game that released, and I'm going to benchmark it now. Now, the reason I'm not recording this through OBS and uploading it to my computer to edit that way like a normal person is because I'm not entirely sure how this is going to handle OBS Studio with an Unreal Engine 4 game in the background, along with, you know, my camera and microphone and all that shit.
Hey guys, want to see my favorite wire? It's super unsafe. Come on, focus camera. Come on, I believe in you. You can fuck.
For reference, on MSI Afterburner, you can't see it, but I'm running a core clock of plus 60 and a memory clock of 110. So it should run
Decently fast.
a real, actual video game. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, that was loud as fuck. My lights.
There we go.
So as you can see, I'm running this on decent settings, and it's running pretty well. I don't know if you can hear, but my computer's fan speed just kicked up a notch. But this does run fairly decently. You can walk around and actually play the whole fucking game. I mean, the reflections look pretty nice. It runs at 60 and indoors because you're not looking at an entire fucking landscape. Oh, who would have known? It does chug a bit when you start looking at mass amounts of terrain, like out there. Like, yeah, it really doesn't like that. My fan certainly doesn't like that. But it's something, and this is probably the most graphically intensive game I own, so I really don't give a shit. I'm just gonna keep playing this for a second. Kinda just wanna fucking do it. Yo guys, you ever hear of Death Stranding? To wrap things up, I want to remind you guys that this setup won't work for a good chunk of you. The specs this computer comes with are actually kind of fucking aids, and it's especially bad with stuff like photo editing software and shit. But if you want to build this abomination for yourself, I already said the name of all the parts, so you can do your own fucking research. For me, this is the first desktop I've ever owned, and the conversion from laptop master race has gone really well for me. Is this computer good? No. But does it do what I need it to? Yeah, and by that metric, I think it's perfect.